All right, 99.9 Punk World Radio FM. You guys already know what's happening. It's right here. We are joined by San Diego, California's own. That's right. We have the one, the only, the phenomenal, and the ever so talented. We got Derek Morris right
Thank
here, live in the building, and of course, Facebook and YouTube as well. Derek, how are you doing tonight, man?
Good, good. Like I was saying earlier, just a little tired from the holidays. I'm sure everybody is, just the families and it's all good. It's awesome. Yeah, just a little like burnt out, like getting back on track with recording. So yeah, good.
I definitely agree, man. I'm looking forward to actually New Year's Eve, man. That way I can kind of have an excuse to drink a little bit. You know what I mean? Have that excuse to crack open a bottle of whiskey and enjoy myself.
There you go. Yeah, that's what's up.
But I'm one of the guys, man, that kind of drinks like an old man. I'd rather sit on the couch New Year's Eve, crack a whole bottle of whiskey, and watch Ryan Seacrest the New Year's Eve party from New York, man. A lot of people go out and get drunk, but I'd rather save my money, just get a nice bottle of whiskey, a little whiskey on the rocks, and watch some New Year's Rockin' Eve and call it a wrap.
There you go. Yeah, I'm actually absolutely with that. I think I've done all my party, being out there all the time. I'm like, wow. So now I'm just like, oh, just stay home or like hang out with family. That's super important. So do that a lot. Love that stuff. But yeah, kind of more of a homebody these days. I find more peace in that. So, yeah.
But Derek, I got to take you back to the beginning of your amazing career, man. I have to ask, what actually inspired you to pursue a career within the music industry initially, man? Because you're such a talented, diverse artist, man. You have backgrounds in so many genres of music, from acoustic playing to hip hop to pop punk and punk rock. I mean, you are truly a jack of all trades when it comes to being a musician.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Honestly, the core thing too, which makes a lot of sense, like you're saying, like the hip hop and like the rock, the acoustic. So like growing up wise, where I was raised, there was basically like I was like the only white kid, So there's always like a lot of hip hop going on. So like I was really influenced by hip hop, and it was like my brother was like most people, I feel their parents introduce them to music, when they're young, like, hey, check this out, check that out, And my parents weren't into like music, like they listened to it, but didn't have like, I'm a Rolling Stones fan or this fan. So my older brother, he's the one who kind of schooled me in music. Like he would show me like Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Too Short, like the old school rapping, And then he would show me like Smashing Pumpkins, the Cranberries, Morrissey, and then Nirvana. So like I had those two worlds. So that's why it's like I was really what I saw, and then when I discussed my first like punk interaction, I mean Nirvana obviously has punk in them, duh, but like my little punk like wow was like Green Day. And I was like, what is this? Like, what is this music? And then Rancid, and like, then that door opened, the Ramones. So that's where, like, I guess, like, I always like, and I've been saying that, like, for years. And I finally got to put that on an album. But before, I was always like punk rock, hip hop, acoustic rock, I don't stop. And that's just been my saying, because I don't know, I just love diversity, And I feel like you don't have to have a favorite color your whole life. Another color could come out and, it could change. So like, I don't know. I think, that my older brother had a big, huge impact on that. On that whole.
Say as well, I definitely agree with that, man. Like, you can't have just one taste in music. Music is such a work of art, man. Honestly, like me as a DJ, I listen to all kinds of music, and people are kind of surprised. They're like, you own a punk rock station, but yet you have Tupac CDs. And I'm like, dude, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a DJ, bro. You have, like, you know what I mean? You can do what you love, but also you can love other genres of music. Like, I mean, if people go through my CD collection, you won't see a lot of country, but you'll see a little sprinkle of a little bit that I can tolerate. I'm not huge on country, but
But there's
I will
some,
admit,
there's some,
I do mess with some Brantley Gilbert.
there you go. I'm just,
Yeah.
it's crazy how you're saying that though. Like how people are like, what, Tupac, you know, or this and this and that. Because people like I'll meet or something. Their first impression of me is they think I'm a rapper, like or something like, oh, yo, you rap. And I was like, no, I don't. I'm like, I actually don't, but I love hip hop. You know, I have a couple songs where I flow. I love like stuff like that. I just feel something and I go with it. You know, I don't I think people when they ask me like the question you were just saying too again, that because I paint and when all of it to me is a canvas, but I don't have a predestination. I just kind of go for it. I go with what my feelings are, you know, and a lot of it too, like the music and stuff is very passionate for me because they're actually just a lot of like growing up and stories and like things I've seen, like the shit's real, you know, and no hate towards people that, you know, I just want people to know that like I care for other people because I've been through shit too, you know, and it's like, well, like that's just my music is very from my life, you know, so yeah.
And also as well, June 12th of 2014, under Bandit Art Recordings, you actually released your 5-track self-titled EP. Looking back, I was wondering if you can actually just tell us a bit more about this earlier released album. And of course, since actually the next year is going to mark 10 years, do you have any plans to re-release that as a 10-year anniversary edition or even remaster it?
Not that I can think of right now, but I will tell you some of those songs. So what's interesting, I bring that up. A lot of these songs from that I have released recently and like 3 years ago are actually songs that I wrote about, man, like 20 years ago. But I just at the time didn't have the money or the resources to have a good production with it, if you would. You know, so that's what's been cool is to like, because like they're my stories, you know, and like I guess like when you're at a campfire, like your stories never get old. They're your stories, you know. So I just actually that's how I re-released those. So yeah, that could happen because I have re-released stuff from like 20 years ago, but a newer recording version of it. So yeah.
And it's always good to do that sometimes as well if you actually have the master recordings because at the end of the day, technology is so advancing every single year that you never know how crispier you can actually make that audio throughout the years.
Yeah, absolutely. But stay hydrated though, my friends. I drink so much water. Let's just put that on the record. I drink probably like 2 gallons of water a day. I don't know if that's healthy or not, but that's my jam.
Hey man, I heard our body is made about 70% of water anyways, right? So at the end of the day, might as well, man. Might as well drink as much water as possible.
I know, right? That's my addiction right
But
there.
also, the one EP that this is where I actually discovered your music all the way out here in Canada. One of my favorite projects is actually your EP that dropped July 22nd of 2016 called Push. I was wondering if you can actually just tell us not only a bit more about this record, but of course, how do you feel your music has evolved from this project leading up until this year of 2023? Because listening to your catalog, it's all phenomenal, but you can really hear your inspirations and everything else kind of evolve throughout those years.
Oh yeah. Dang, Push. Wow, I forgot about that. I was like, man, it has evolved a lot. Like tremendously as just recording wise, and also just like hanging around other musicians that because we're like I was when I recorded at that time, it was only like a selective type of people that recorded, right? And I was always like, dude, like I want to know more about how they do hip hop professional. I want to know how they do this professional. And at that time and point in my life, everybody I felt we were kind of like we were basically just recording out of a garage, you know, and like somebody's closet using that as like the sound booth, you know, which was awesome. I think I look back and I'm like, dang, like a lot of those too were recorded like on GarageBand on my phone. and mixed and then put to the computer through the guy. Yeah. So a lot, dude. I'm like, wow, I've come a long way. Like it's dope. That's the key thing too. I'm always like, I tell people all the time, forever's listening, like, do not give up. Because at those points, dude, even at those points, I was like, man, people telling me give up, da 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 da, and I was like, dude, you cannot give up on what you love. And I think that's the thing, is the passion, the drive, and like regardless of what came through my life, because even at that time, dude, I was like a full blown drunk. Like I'm talking like all day drinking. And I was to look back and I'm like, no wonder that too, about like not caring about the sound. It's because I was wasted all the time. And that too, I think learning to get my life together has a lot to help with that. Just maturing, dude, you know? You mature in your life, and then like you mature in your things that you love. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Push, man. Thank you
And
for
when you
bringing
actually
that
said,
up. I was like, what? I was like,
hey,
that's
man,
so crazy.
and honestly, man, I really do think that it's a phenomenal record, man. You know what I mean?
Oh, thank you.
My only complaint that it's only 5 tracks. That was my complaint back in the day. But when you said GarageBand, honestly, going back and listening to that, I wouldn't have even thought this was actually recorded on GarageBand, because in my opinion, GarageBand is kind of like the original variation of SoundCloud. You know what I mean? But I'm not gonna lie, listening to this, I really did not think this was a GarageBand record, which honestly makes me love it even more, because it just shows how much of a
Wow.
talented individual you truly are.
Thank you again. Wow, thank you.
And also, as well, aside from being a musician, I know you briefly mentioned this earlier on in the interview, that you were actually a painter as well. I was wondering what actually made you decide to get into painting, and of course, if you are selling your artwork, how can our listeners actually go about checking out your artwork and, of course, buying some as well?
All right, they can check it out at my website. It's just www.derekmorris777.com. You buy merch there, and the merch too. Actually, I design that stuff too. So, and I also put a lot of my paintings digitally, or not digitally. I'll take a picture of them and place them on like the clothing. Painting, I think it started that too. I didn't even. That's another thing. I'm like, people ask me how you do this and that, and I was like, I don't know. I just do it. You know, I've met tons of people, and again, I love to encourage people. Like, I've met people that I would say that can draw and paint way better than me, but they will never put it out there. So it's taking that risk of just not even a risk, just put it out there. But anyways, I started. Well, I drew a lot when I was a kid, and then I started making this thing called Vamps, and that essentially went from like paintings to so they're basically like vampires and ghosts and stuff like that, but they were like nice, you know, and that when I started that stuff was like creepy to some people, like, oh, ghosts and vampires was only acceptable on Halloween, which is hilarious because now it's people get it, it's like not a big deal. But my theme was like hugs, not blood. So like I did some animations too with that. And then I started making comic books with it. So I went from paintings to comic books, like kind of like manga type books, you know, like these are like some of the characters that are on my arm. I don't know if you can see them.
Oh, that's right.
But these were like some of the characters that were from, let's see, get this one right here. It's Ghost. And so I did that and I published it, and then I got it into Barnes and Nobles. And this is all, dude, I'm talking DIY. Just me, myself, and I, like, just getting online and like, like no college education, you know, just to drive to just get it out there. So I made that, and to this day I have probably, these are just some of the paintings. Woo!
That's cool.
Thank you, my lovely.
I like that one, man.
Wife. Thank you. And what was I gonna say? Oh, now I've published. Dang, I have 2 more books I haven't even like finished yet. But the books these ones I draw, and then I fill in the color on like Photoshop. But anyways, I have like 29 books now since then. So you can also pick up copies of my books. Not right now. I'm out of stock of them, but you can go to Barnes and Nobles, Amazon, and pick them up there. So they're kind of like funny, wonky children's ghost fart, funny stuff. I don't know.
And that's actually really cool that Barnes and Noble actually picked up your book. I didn't even know that actually, and I do know around the area we actually have some Barnes and Nobles as well. So I definitely have to slide into there and see if I can get myself a copy. I mean, I don't mind ordering online. Don't get me wrong, but I find going into the store and searching for it is cool. But if I search for it and it ain't there, looks like I'm going online.
Okay, cool. Yeah. That's another thing I've been. I have so I have 2 books I'm working on, and those ones I'm trying to work up some other look into some more publishing deals. Because I also had so with my the paintings too, it was crazy with the paintings and the books. I did a trade show in Vegas like a couple years ago, and I also was touring the Vans Warped Tour when that was around. With that too, and it was called Vamps, and I was like selling my books and T-shirts, and it was cool because I was doing it for this nonprofit. They're called Take Action. They had like CDs with like Green Day, like all this stuff. So it was cool, dude, just to be a part of like. I love to be a part of anything to like just help people too. You know, with what I got to like use it to help other people. That's the money right there. You know, so.
And when you mentioned a few moments ago about having the chance to be a part of Van's Warped Tour, I have to dig into that a little bit, man, because I absolutely love Warped Tour. Unfortunately, as we already know, it's a festival that is no longer available, and I feel that one of these days, individuals are going to completely forget about how miraculous such festivals were, like Van's Warped Tour. I was wondering if you can just tell us a little bit more about the story about like you being a part of that. Did you get the opportunity to kick it with any like bigger up and coming bands during your time there? Because I do know I do know there wasn't a lot of security, whatnot. You could really just kind of kick it with whoever if you came across them. Obviously, so many amazing stories I've heard so far. Just being in the music industry really made me kind of wish, man, that I was able to be a part of the Warped Tour. When I hear stories, I'm not gonna lie, I get jealous.
Yeah, honestly, dang, a lot of like, dude, heroes of mine I got to meet. Like, just go, because you have a pass since you're a part of it to go, eat where everybody eats, and like the certain restrooms where everybody go, like I don't want to call it VIP, but backstage, if you would, so they don't get mobbed by fans. And well, one of the craziest ones I could think of was so Matt Skiba and Dan Adriano from Alkaline Trio were touring and on the Warped Tour then, and I went back there and I saw him. I was like, oh shoot! I just remember like walking up to him, and I was like, I don't know, they must have been drunk or something, but I was just like, what's up? Like, how you guys doing? Like, da 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 da. I gave him some free gear, and like he was like, Dan Adriano was like putting on his beanie, and like. I was just like, oh my God, like Alkaline Trio, dude, these are my heroes. Like, what? And I was like, how you guys been? And they were just like, well, today's been kind of crazy. We've just been chasing demons and ancestors from the past. And I was like, yo, is this for real? Like, what? Because I think somebody was with me that was touring. And I was just like, all right, well, cool, nice meeting you guys. I love you guys so much when we left. But that blew my mind because it wasn't an act. It was like whoa, I don't know what they were into then, but that creeped me out, bro. I was like, I'm out of here. So, and then what the singer from Flogging Molly, I was taking a piss in there, and I just remember looking over, and I was like, oh, what's up? And he's like, hey. And I was like, dang, this guy's so white and like person. But that was kind of interesting because I wanted to talk to him, but I'm like, we're both peeing right now. I'm not gonna do that. But yeah. Other
Yeah.
Warped Tour. Man, it was cool though. So my booth that I was with them at was every day was in front of one of the main stages. So like every day, dude, I was seeing like Bouncing Souls, AFI, the Ataris, the Casualties. I mean, just anyone who was on the main stage. And it was just, to be honest though, after the first week, I was kind of over it. Like I had to get like earbuds because I was like, dude, this is every day. And the tour, the Warped Tour is like an insane tour, dude, because you go from one place to another like each day. There's like, I don't even think there's, I don't think there was like a break. They just run through it like day by day by day by day. And I mean, like, this is like setting it up every morning in another, another city. So it was pretty intense, dude. Like I would be like, because you have to carry all your gear. So yeah, it was awesome, like amazing memories. But dude, it was a shit ton of work. You're just like, whoa, this is
And I
like
think
people
as
think
well,
they're
even
out
the
there.
Warp Tour even came to Canada as well, I believe. They had to take all that and bring it to Montreal. Because I know the Warp Tour did Montreal almost every year. I think one or two times they might have skipped it. I could be wrong. But I do know they always came to Canada as well. So just even that by itself, coming to Canada for one date, then packing it all up, going across the borders, and
Yeah.
then just must have been a shit show, man.
Yeah, so I was like, this is crazy. And like I was just touring in a van like I rented, Um and I just had like a friend or two. I think it was just one friend actually at the time. Somebody was there. Sorry for whoever, I did forget who it was, but like taking turns driving, like I was like, it's crazy because it was such an amazing thing too. You're just like, dude, this is sick. And you're like, you come back from it and everyone's like, how was it? And you're like, it was awesome, but oh, I'm burnt. So yeah, it's definitely, I think they would say that too. Like the Warped Tour is like the craziest, like actually tour for bands. Like they actually bust their ass off. It's like back in the day. So yeah,
I
that's
actually interviewed Anthony Lovato of Mest, the lead singer of Mest, and he actually said
oh,
that Warped Tour had a very unique smell. It smelled like just like
oh
hot burning piss on the concrete.
yeah, and like dude, dust. There's like you go to certain places. It's like it's not inside. There's no like concrete. So yeah, dude, like some people will, yeah, most definitely. And then when you get in there, you can't leave. I mean, we can, but like the people can't, because then if you leave, you can't come back in. It's just a one shot in. So yeah, yeah, there was a lot of like stinky ass people. I was like, well, yep, that's for sure. I remember seeing him walking with Mike Herrera. Dang, that's crazy. I remember we were walking and I remember them passing by. I was like, oh, I was going to go say hi, but I got to get back to my booth. So that's cool that you mentioned that.
And also, December 10th of 2023, you actually released the killer four-track album titled Healing Pain. I was wondering if you can actually just tell us a bit more about this most recently released record, and of course, where can we actually snag ourselves a copy of it today if we haven't already done so?
Um, Anywhere online. I haven't pressed anything yet. But yeah, anywhere online, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music. And that was my first. Whew. So that was my first that I recorded all the instruments and like I actually recorded myself and then have somebody like, okay, Derek, sing. Like I finally got up all my gear and then I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna do this myself, like because there's a lot of um I don't know, it's just like when you're doing it in the studio it's cool, right? But like when you're doing it like when it's just you doing the craft, because at studios, you're like, I need this, I need that, or what do you think? What do you think? Well, there's no one there. It's like, how do I feel about this right now? What do I want to like the feelings of like what's inside of me to come out? So it was cool, like just a little backstory on that. Like I produced that whole thing, and I'm actually working on another one that I'm producing all of it too. But shout out to Taylor, or Tyler, sorry. He masters it for me though. So, because I don't know how to do mastering, but yeah, I produced all of that. So I'm super proud of myself because of being like in all these studios and stuff, and then just kind of learning. I've always had the ear, you know, like you're saying with Push and those things. Like a lot of those things were like I'd be like, turn this up, turn that up, and I think just over the years, you fall more and more in love with the craft. You just start picking up things that other people don't hear. So I kind of consider myself like a low key indie producer, I guess, sometimes maybe. So yeah.
And also as well, I do know you actually released a phenomenal 16-track compilation project just a few months prior to that album, which I have to give this compilation some love, man. It's titled Punk Rock, Hip Hop, Acoustic Rock, I Don't Stop. I gotta give this compilation some love, man, because honestly, all this music that you actually put together in this project is absolutely blended so well. You can listen to every single song and it all connects. I absolutely love it, man. I was wondering if you can just tell us a bit more about the inspiration behind this compilation. And of course, are there actually any hard copies available of this, man? Because I think this needs to be in everyone's CD or vinyl or even cassette collection, man.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be pressed vinyl. I have the artwork for the back of it too. Just haven't got around, like, because I'm basically like a one-man operation. Like, I do it all myself except for the mastering. But right now, like, I'm like doing everything, so I just have to like take it in sections, you know, and like just having my projects in line. But with that one, again, those. So even the song Follow Through, that song was written in another band I was in. Man, it was just acoustic and keyboards. And I toured a lot with that band. It was called Blue in the Face, which was the Alkaline Trio song. And it was crazy because that song is totally different if you heard it then. Because it was kind of folky, I guess you'd say. Like, it wasn't as but I've always that was the thing. I always wanted it to be rock, but I just was like, I don't have like a band for all this, you know. So that's what's been cool with the vision with this album with technology now. I don't have to have a band. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just could do it all myself. And that's how I wanted to. And like a lot with this one was just taking stuff that was from the past. There's at least probably like 3 or 4 songs that I took and just re-recorded them, and then newer stuff that I did like the past 2 years. And that's where I just put it together just according, like, and I appreciate what you said, how it just flows, because like that's exactly what I wanted. I just wanted it to flow with like, okay, like that's rock, like that's a punk rock song, and then this is kind of moody, and then okay, whoa, an acoustic song, and then whoa, another like rock song, and then a punk rock song, and then oh, this is a vibey like kind of like hip hop song. So, and for me, I guess making that was it was just so awesome because of the fact, like, a lot of my like favorite legends like Sublime, I just always loved how he did the same thing. Like, he had reggae, punk rock, he had alternative, he had, you know, it was just like reggaeton. Like, the dude had everything. Because, and I think growing up listening to him too, also that was another influence I heard of later. I was like, dude, that's so sick, because most people would listen to his track and they would only hear that one song. It was like one of his like famous radio songs, like I don't practice Santeria, you know. And I was just like, dude, like, I want to hear the rest of this CD. Like, what is this, dude? This is, wait, that's like, are we listening to the same CD? And I think loving the diversity and knowing that this guy put his heart into all those things, that really fueled my vision with it. Like, okay, I want to do I was influenced, not like ripping him off, but you know what I mean? Like, So yeah, that was pretty much my thing to kind of get everybody's attention. Like, hey, dude, like, because that's my main goal is like, hey, we all have something in common, you know, and I'm just trying to share that with the world. So, and that one's, man, that one did really well. And that's why I've been like, okay, like, yeah, the final for sure. But like I said, I'm like, okay, I gotta put my ducks in a row or whatever they say. But yeah.
But I have to ask, what is next for yourself, Derek Morris? Because I do know you have such a long, amazing, extensive career within the music industry, and I know we only touched base on not even half of it here this evening. But is there anything we happen to miss? Anything else you do still want to touch on, talk about, or promote? But we still got you here live on the radio station airwaves tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, I've like, dude, recently, so I don't know if you've heard of Mr. Bones at all. He's a DJ, and he's just a very inspirational guy. And what he does is he does a lot of that Coachella, like what is that type, like rave music, if you would. And he's done songs with so he'll make like the beats, right? He'll make the song, and then he's had like Snoop Dogg was the last artist he was on or was on it, and then he had who else was the other dude? He just had a lot of like big artists. So he's sending me a track, and that is pretty huge for me because to work, it's huge in the fact too that like he's such a very inspirational person himself, and he's worked with like legends. I mean, like again, like Snoop Dogg is a legend to me, you know, like just as much as like Green Day is, because you know I give love to all sides, dude. Like I love all music, you know. So, oh, my cat. I thought my cat was gonna pee on me. Not that that happens, but if it did,
I will agree though. I gotta say, I definitely agree with the Snoop Dogg statement, man. All that I have to say is Doggy Style, hands down, one of the best hip hop albums of all time,
yeah,
man.
dude, absolutely. But yeah, so that's the thing. I'm like, I went from like doing my own projects, you know, like okay, I have my thing, and now like different doors are opening. So I'm like, oh, like, damn, this is cool, but it's a lot, but I'm gonna do it, you know. So I have to put like like you're saying, put certain things aside to get other things like prepared. But I'm gonna be doing that, and then also we talked. He has his own like indie label that he has, and he was talking to me about doing like an EP, which would be like 3 songs. We were saying, and he's giving me the total freedom. Which creative freedom, like I've done the artwork and everything, so it's cool because it's like the kind of thing I was looking for too. So that's gonna be coming out, and then after that I'm probably gonna work on at least probably be working on an album probably like 5 months from then or from now. So but in between I have the one song coming out with him. And then after that, I have the EP, which is 3 songs. And then on the EP, we'll have like a new music video too for that. So yeah, I have a lot of stuff coming, but it's awesome and blessed, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so cool. It's very cool. And I just again, like I know I say this a lot, but it's just for everybody out there, even you. It's like, dude, just keep going with what you love. They say, what is it? If you do what you love every day, you'll never work the rest of your life or something like that, you know, because you just love it. And
Good words to live by.
Yeah, I was like, I think I said them properly, but yeah. So yeah, I got a lot of projects coming up, and I'm stoked. And that too, though, it's always a surprise with me. There'll be like some punk rock, and then there'll be some acoustic stuff too. I have a couple acoustic songs because I just love the acoustic also. So yeah, stoked.
And Derek, obviously I know how to follow you on social media, man, but for the individuals that here in Canada that might just be discovering Derek Morris here tonight, how can we go about following you across all social media platforms? That way we can stay updated on everything you have coming up in 2024. Because honestly, next year honestly sounds like the year of Derek Morris, man. It sounds like you got a lot of amazing stuff actually in that pot of gumbo cooking up right now.
Thank you. Yes, I feel that. Well, I would say my website. The website would be the best. Because then all the other things are there, like Instagram. So Instagram, TikTok. So just I would say the website, and again, the website is www.derek Derek Morris Morris, and then 777.com. And you go there, everything's there, so you can find me wherever you need to find me. And that's pretty much the main page to go to. And you can hit up all my.
And I gotta say,
oh, go for it.
Oh no! Go ahead, Derek. My apologies.
Oh no, I was just saying that's like where you can find all my madness, you know. Oh, and that too. I was gonna say So I don't know if you're aware, but also at least like 4 of my music videos, I actually like between me and my wife, we did it with the camera, and then I edit them too. So I do that too. I do the editing for, and it's crazy because have you heard of what's that guy's name? Hangover. What's that guy? I don't know.
I think I have.
Because everyone's been telling me.
I think I have an idea what you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah, everyone's like, oh, you're like that guy. I mean, not like our music, but he's like, he produces, he writes it, and he does it all. He doesn't have a label and this and that. And I was like, what? And then it was interesting. I was telling my wife, like, 5 years ago, we were actually friends on Instagram. And I had a thing that he sent me. He's like, hey, check out my music. And I was like, whoa, that's crazy because he's huge now. And like, it was awesome because I felt we were doing the same thing, you know? And he's still doing the same thing, but on a huge scale. And that's where I feel like you're saying this year, I just feel like it's about to like, shoom. And honestly, like, for me, it's just getting like, I don't know, how do you say that? Because I think a lot of people kind of thrive off fame. They thrive off being big for just being big. I am thriving off just people. The bigger it gets, the more people that get to hear my music. And for me, that's like they get to hear my life story, you know? And not that I'm better than anybody or none of that shit. That's where I'm at with it. So yeah, I'm excited to like blow up because the more I blow up, the more people get to be touched, you know? And that's what's up to me.
And I gotta say, first and foremost, Derek, thank you so much for giving not only myself, but the radio station Airways a bit of your time, man. Like I said, I've been a fan of your craft for a long time, man, so I'm super excited just to be able to see what comes next and hear these new amazing projects when they do drop to the general public next year in 2024, man. I wish you all the best, and of course, anything you need radio-wise, or if you even do want to come back on the radio station airwaves, definitely hit me up. And once you send your music my way, if you send it, we here at 99.9 Punk World Radio FM, we are definitely going to spin it.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate you and everything so much, man. And yes, we will definitely, we got a schedule for at least like what do we say? I said, we should do it the next year so we can see where it's elevated. You know, like remember when we were talking
definitely,
last
man.
year?
Honestly, man, we're connected on social media, man. So whenever you're ready, hit me up, and we'll definitely get everything coordinated and set back up, man.
Will do. Thank you so much again, too.
Hey, man, you're most certainly welcome, Derek. Of course, happy New Year's to you and your family as well, and we definitely shall talk soon, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.